Delighted to be here. I am very happy to be back. It's a wonderful way to be in Sarajevo, even though we are here. I'm delighted to speak as a representative of the community of Sant'Egidio, and I want to thank Claudio and Paola for this privilege in many ways. This is a family of friends trying to live the gospel, and this is the community that is organizing the International Prayer for Peace in Sarajevo. The theme is Living Together is the Future, Religions and Culture in Dialogue. The encounter is organized with the Islamic community of Bosnia and Herzegovina, the Serbian Orthodox Church, the Catholic Archdiocese of Sarajevo, and the Jewish community in Bosnia and Herzegovina. It is a highly unusual gathering, we were speaking about it before, that links Sarajevo and Washington through Assisi. Yes, we are meeting here in the spirit of Assisi, sharing in a series of occasions like pearls on a necklace, form a beautiful whole. Yesterday, Catherine Marshall of Georgetown chaired the inaugural session of the event with President Izetbegovic. It was a moving moment when presence was grounded in hospitality and words were shared in hope. Thanks to the community of Sant'Egidio, the spirit of Assisi has been moving from town to town, year after year, since 1986. It moves as a gathering of friends, of dreamers, workers of a possible coexistence, and dedicated seeker of the mystery of life. This work is in response to a dream of an old pope. Today in Sarajevo, that dream becomes slightly truer, stronger. Pope John Paul the Great called religious leaders of all denominations and traditions to come to Assisi for an international prayer for peace more than 25 years ago. It was before the fall of the Berlin Wall, before the fall of communist regime in Soviet Union and neighboring countries, before the peace in Mozambique, of which we celebrate the 20th anniversary this year, before the end of the millennium. For many students here, this was before you were born, long time ago. But for many of us who've been around in this moment, the transformation is just extraordinary. And we have an intense perception of how unusual that invitation was, how unprecedented that invitation was. Roman Catholic popes had protected cities and countries with a powerless presence like Leo or Gregory before them. But they also led armies and crusades. Each pope is different, and John Paul was keenly aware of being the pope after Vatican II, after the council. He revered good Pope John, who had called the Concilium Vaticanum Secundum and had led the Catholic Church in a period of extraordinary renewal. Pope John Paul was also a son of Poland, a mystic, who discovered in his own life that history is not only studied in school, sometimes with wonderful professors like Tom,
yourself,
but as something of the past, but is made of human choices open to the Spirit. Pope John Paul served the truth of an unfolding history of human flourishing made of respect, welcome, charity, and mercy. He was a hopeful pope who was able to move beyond the status quo. He had a vision of the earth that was coming, the one of which Teilhard de Chardin spoke eloquently in the words here at Georgetown International Building. The age of nations is past. It remains for us now, if we do not wish to perish, to set aside the ancient prejudice and build the earth. The meeting in Assisi was Pope John Paul's dream, becoming a moment, an actual historical gathering with Christian leaders of all denominations, with Jews and Muslims, Hindu and Buddhist, Zoroastrian and Shinto. It was the first time. Nothing like it ever happened before. Yet in a strange way, it was simply inviting us to see something that had happened every day. People of different tradition praying in their own ways for peace. Peace, pace, shalom, salam, Irene, are not words extraneous to the religious tradition. They are used all the time in prayers. But it is somehow unusual to see and hear and welcome them as they are said by others, willfully, intentionally, expectfully. So what happened in Assisi in 86 was a simple moment of silence, preceded by the prayers in different locations according to different tradition. There was no syncretism, there was no confusion, only mutual recognition and hospitality. That day was an invitation for everyday life of all believers and non-believers. That attitude of mutual recognition and hospitality is indeed terribly needed in so many areas of the world. In Assisi, there was a new beginning, a new possibility springing forth in the mutual recognition and hospitality. The community of Sant'Egidio participated in that moment and moved with that spirit, organizing the International Prayer for Peace each year. In 2006, that pilgrimage led us here to Georgetown. Pope John Paul did a second prayer for peace in Assisi, this time after September 11. He wanted to pray in particular for this country and for all the countries involved in that horror. He begged for peace as a pilgrim, with the hurt as his own. Now, more than 10 years later, and 2 costly wars, many deaths and extraordinary sufferings, we are encountering that wisdom again. Pope John Paul wanted to visit another place that experienced war in the heart of Europe, Bosnia and Herzegovina. He asked personally to the representative of the community of Sant'Egidio to facilitate the journey. Unfortunately, it could not be finalized, but we are grateful today of being able to fulfill later, possibly, that dream of a great Pope, a prayer for peace in Sarajevo. While we are here, visit in your heart this country in Europe. Visit its Muslim, Orthodox, Catholic, Jewish communities. Visit the center of a peace agreement that stopped the war and left so much to do. Let's visit and learn. Yes, we want to learn from Bosnia and Herzegovina. We want to explore further what religious communities can do on the way to peace. In 2001, Dr. Betty was involved in the signing of the agreement in Rome, and that is a testament to this commitment. We have a text that is circulating for that agreement. Speaking about commitment, I cannot but notice that since Jack DiGioia became president of Georgetown, the university has been associated with each edition of the Prayer for Peace, not only when it was here in Washington. Occasionally, not only the president or Catherine Marshall or Tom Banchoff, but also students participated. The Contemplative in Action initiative supported that collaboration, and the course on Catholic peacemaking that emerged from it is now taught 3 times a year and is always oversubscribed. There is a hunger to learn more about peace. There is a hunger to understand more to the coming of peace. There is a hunger to dream dreams of peace for this country and beyond. Some of you may know Christian de Chargé. His final moments with the Trappist monks of Tiberin were described in the movie O God of Man. A Christian martyr of the end of the millennium, Christian was not only a good friend of the community of Sant'Egidio and a participant in the Prayer for Peace after '86, but he was also a translator. Sant'Egidio doesn't pay anyone, and so you had to ask all sorts of friends, to do things. And Christian was one of those that were translating from Arabic to French, French to Arabic. And as in Sarajevo, the actual public moment is preceded by days of conversations, and we remember them well here in Washington, around the urgent, relevant themes: poverty, prayer, cities, loneliness, migrations. Religious leaders share words, reflections, concerns. To translate them is to listen, is to offer them, is to offer back, is to receive and to give back. Christian de Chargé was a master of doing that in Arabic and French, but also among Muslim and Christians, African and Europeans, Algerians and French. His life was taken violently while he was translating the friendship that never ends, the friendship that is at the core of Assisi, that is the hope of Sarajevo. In his testament, written before being killed in Algeria, he offered the testimony of that friendship. He said, "And you too, my last-minute friend, who will not know what you are doing. Yes, for you too, I say this, thank you and God bless you. To commend you to this God in whose face I see yours. And we may find each other, happy good thieves in paradise, if it pleases God, the Father of us both." The spirit of Assisi is blowing this invitation to friendship in the midst and after conflict. This invitation to peace among and within each religious tradition. May the spirit of Assisi, now so strongly present in Sarajevo, speak to us and many. Thank you.